Okay, so we're ready to start, I guess. Yes, so my name is Daiji Kimura. I'm a sales manager at Drupal. Very nice to meet you here. Thanks for coming. And in this lecture, I'm going to talk about selling in challenging times. Actually, how to enhance Drupal's competitiveness in rapidly changing environment. Little disclaimer, I'm not going to talk about details of technicalities regarding Drupal. It's more of a soft skills and sales and marketing. So if you're too bored, let me know and we can move forward. So the agenda is the following. So the reasons behind the tech industry crisis, how did it affect software agencies such as ours, Drupal? Our attitude, so what we have actually done in this case, what were our decisions that we have made so far, what we have exactly implemented and how we improved sales and company-wise to adjust to the market, and I will wrap up with the reflections and conclusions that we have made. So starting with the market, macroeconomics downturns of the last 4 years. So obviously everything started from the pandemic, so it was four years ago. Since then, the market is rapidly changing like never before, and we have to be very quick and observe also what's happening around us to adjust. Initially, remote work and the lockdowns were favorable for our markets. However, it caused many different problems for industries that struggled due to the consumer behavior changes and disrupted supply chains. Speaking of supply chains disruptions, many critical shortages such as semiconductors, which affected industry from automotive to electronics, leading to increased prices and production delays. Obviously military conflicts around us, so the invasion of Russia and Ukraine, and then the sanctions has basically disrupted the European energy markets because we heavily relied on the Russian gas, and these sanctions contributed to rising global energy prices, the increasing inflation. And speaking about inflation and monetary tightening, all the above is correlating with the inflation. So central banks, including the Federal Reserve and the European Central Bank, raised the interest to manage this. And also, from the other hand, you have venture capitals that are no longer interested in investing in startups and new projects like they did before in the past. So how did it affect the tech industry? Obviously, we have suffered a lot from this. So budget cuts and terminated collaborations. So companies often reduce the revenue due to decreased consumer spendings on business investments. In response, they had to make a difficult decision whether they are going to cut the budgets from the production factories or they are going to cut the budgets from innovations or different things such as software projects. Layoffs, you can see the statistics from 2023. More than 250,000 people were laid off and lost their jobs worldwide. Changed demand-supply ratio. And this is actually something that I can feel on a daily basis when I'm speaking with the clients. It's not as easy as it used to be a few years ago, where you could just qualify the clients and kind of dismiss whatever which is not fitting your company, but you have to actually fight for each client, help them throughout different stages, be more consultative, etc. So the market becomes saturated with the service providers, and this overcapacity results in heightened competition among service companies, in fact driving down the prices and profit margins. Regarding the Polish tech agency markets, according to the survey led by Polish Software Development Association, it's called SODA, with over 200 agencies, we can see the following conclusion. Overall, if we had to describe 2023 in 3 points, we would certainly say that it was very difficult, unpredictable, and demanding. I'll move forward to the numbers from this survey. So the wage growth is a huge risk. So to the question of how do you assess the impact of salary on your business in the next 4 quarters, You can see that 61% of companies responded as negative, 36 as neutral, and only 3% as positive. Lead generation challenges. This is also super important here. How do you assess the impact of the numbers of leads generated on your company in the coming year? 65% as negative, only 14% as neutral, 21% as positive, as you can see. Perhaps they have good marketing and sales strategy, different processes, or they're specialized in niche, so they're not worried about that. But as you can see, the majority of companies are not positive about this. The main focus goes to lead generation. So that's the #1 priority for software agencies. You have different things also, such as service specialization, strategy and processes. But lead generation, I would say, is the most challenging things for many companies. So yes, the conclusion is that now it's a customer-driven market, and we have to deal with that. Yes, so shifts in the client's expectations. Clients who continues to seek tech services, as I said, may negotiate harder, expecting more values, faster delivery, better quality, lower prices. They are leveraging the fact that the increased competition among service providers leads to the fact that we have to basically fight with other agencies and try to win the deal. So it forces us to different negotiations and difficult situations, basically. Emerging numbers of alternative platforms against Drupal. So we are not only suffering from the macroeconomical issues, but also we do have different platforms that are super strong in the market. Commercial headless CMSs like Storyblock, Contentful, Strapi, which are far cheaper than building Drupal from scratch. Low-code, no-code solutions like Webflow for web development or Bubble for application development. And you have different SaaS products such as Shopify for e-commerces or Wix, Squarespace, etc. They all have in common one thing, which is relatively cheap price for monthly subscriptions. Probably they are a very good fit for beginners, for small companies, or for somebody that has no complex requirements for its projects. Yes, so that's about the market. And now what, right? So we have to make we did make observation, and we have to understand what our next move is. So obviously we know that the problem is here, and we have to understand what are we going to do about it, right? So we can stay passive and we can complain about it and try to compete with external factors such as SaaS businesses, for instance, which probably it's not the right thing to do, right? Because we simply don't know if they're really our competitors or not. Because Drupal might be completely different and it offers different values. We can also lower the prices. So basically not doing anything with our marketing and sales strategies, just simply relying on the negotiations. But if you lower the price, probably you have to cut out the scope of the project, or you have to decrease the quality and compromise it. And yeah, the alternative is more promising. You can be proactive about it. You can adjust and work on your internal processes, right? So on the things that you have actually control over. And you can try to find less but more valuable clients. So people who are actually in need to work with you, not necessarily trying to satisfy everybody, which is not possible, simply. So yes, so we took this, obviously, the proactive approach. So I'm going to now talk about the details of the things that we have introduced. So yes, so proactive changes brings a lot of smaller activities that we had to introduce in our company. Not everything started as a one whole project. It became a natural process. Everybody contributed cross-departmentally from different departments, such as delivery team, marketing team, pre-sales, etc. So it is very important to start with articulating company strategy. So you have to understand who you would like to work with, who you wouldn't like to work with, what sort of project would you like to deliver, and then you can proceed with the sales and marketing strategies and processes. So one of the most important things is to define the value proposition. Sometimes you have defined value propositions, but you have to actually reiterate. Sorry. Yes, you have to actually reiterate it over the time, because as you can see, market is changing rapidly. So perhaps your value proposition is no longer valid. So it's better to observe it. And yes, the value proposition should be also adjusted to the specific business verticals. So you have to also define what sort of segments you would like to pursue. You have to define the ICP, which is ideal client's profile. So you have to understand what sort of companies you would like to serve. And within those companies, you have different buyer personas, right? So you have procurement team, you have CTOs, you have CEOs, you have many different departments, and they have different challenges, problems, perceptions. So you have to be spot on with your message to specific buyer personas. Yes, so cross-departmental sales processes. So we have combined different competencies in our company. So we are not only selling just as salespeople, but also we include pre-sales team, developers, DevOps designers, product delivery managers, and different competencies. Just to sell, like in order to sell small, right? So what I mean by that is, like, we try not to start with the big proposal for the target projects, but we try to actually engage clients on early stages with our consultative services. It is also very important to reinforce marketing and sales collaborations. It is very oftentimes marketing team is fighting with the sales guys. The sales guys are complaining about the poor lead quality from the marketing, and marketing is complaining about sales who are not closing those leads, right? So, I believe that we shouldn't fight with marketing. Actually, we should collaborate. We should give them insights, what sort of problems clients are facing, what are the details that they are talking about on our calls, and then try to market it for new leads. We have long-term marketing strategy, which is super crucial. So I'll get into that as well in a later phase. And yes, the last thing is try to also create your Drupal distribution when it's possible. So if you're serving the specific business segments, it is very probable that most of the things will be repeatable, right? So you can actually reuse it and be faster and then cheaper for next project. So obviously you have different constraints, for example, legal or contracts wise, but you can perhaps somehow overcome it, right? So it's all about being creative also here. Yes, so I can show you how does the Droptica sales team look like. So typical tech sales team consists of many different sales specialists, such as sales development specialist, whose responsibility is to basically outreach to different companies and give them a message with some value proposition and try to attract them and then schedule a meeting with us. Account executive is the person who is closing the deals, creating proposals, serving new clients, new businesses. Account manager is the person who basically develop an account within the company, meaning existing clients. And you have head of sales who's managing everybody's responsibilities. But in our sales team is kind of unconventional and unusual. Obviously, we have co-founders who are helping us on a daily basis. They know very well the company. We have SDM, Service Delivery Manager, so the person is more responsible for project planning, for assignments, for understanding what are the capabilities of our developers on our bench, for example. But also SDM is the person who helps us a lot during the consultative sales, right? So all the things such as workshops, scoping sessions, proof of concepts, this person is super helpful to help me as a salesperson. We have technical directors, so basically creating the proposals, checking and validating the technical estimations that we are creating with our pre-sales team. And myself, a sales manager, actually it turns out that I can manage a lot of tasks, such as inbound, outbound, creating processes, especially taking into account that there are a lot of new possibilities with AI. You can expedite your work, you can use a lot of automations, and you can focus on more important stuffs. And everything is for being more consultative. So you can see our new services that we have implemented in our service proposition. So consulting, workshops, POC, UX, UI. So I call them sales enablers. So if you take care of your clients in this phase, you can actually increase your probability of getting the target project. Yes, so the next thing is that we have specialized in the specific business verticals. So you don't want to be super vague about the segments that you can serve. So we have, for example, focused on financial services, on manufacturing website, media and publishing, CMS, and higher education, which is super important for us as well. Whenever the company can see those materials, they can perceive us as experts in this field. Obviously, we have to put a lot of work to understand the nitty-gritty details of those segments, but that's our work, basically. Yes, and in terms of mapping value proposition with the customer profile, it's also super important to understand who you are talking to. Right? So once you understand, you can understand their specific jobs that needs to be done, their gains, their pains, and you can adjust with your messages, right? So gain creators, you can also outline your products or services values and pain relievers. Okay, so this is my philosophy also for the sales. I can see a lot of issues with different agencies in Poland that are responding to market crisis, in my opinion, in a wrong way. So they try to fix, basically, overcome this problem with quick fixes, such as outbound or aggressive sales. They're hiring a bunch of salespeople who are just reaching out to different companies and proposing their solutions. But I believe that it's not really how it works in a software development agency. Nobody's buying projects just because somebody reached out to them and the price is good or value proposition fits. So I'm a fan of building long-term, robust sales and marketing machine. And one of the steps that you can actually do is distinguishing different phases of the marketing funnel. And you have top of the funnel, you have middle of the funnel, and you have bottom of the funnel. And top of the funnel is more like a PR and an informative part where you attract your clients to your website. You can give them more information about you. Middle of the funnel is the place where you kind of engage with those potential clients. So you can send them any kind of materials, get their email list, etc. And bottom of the funnel is the place where actual sales occurs. So the inquiries, call to actions, the discovery calls with the clients, and so on. Yeah, so this is the example of top of the funnel. So the goal is to generate interest, capture attention, and initiate the customer journey. The tactics are the following. So as I said, digital PR, a lot of content for the SEO, social media as well. Top of the funnel content are blog posts, webinars, podcasts. You can actually see that we are running webinars about the Drupal as well. And the key is not to be too salesy with your webinars. So please try not to do the webinars where you have the aggressive call to action and you try to sell, but actually give the objective perspective on what the client can do actually with particular problems. So for example, here's the topic of future after Drupal 7 end of life. And we are actually exploring alternatives and new opportunities. So we are not only calling the clients to take the action and come to us for Drupal 7 to 10 migration, but we are also speaking about different alternatives, right? So if you would like to move from Drupal to different services, different frameworks, then it's fine for us. If that fits your business, that's perhaps the best thing that you can do for your business, right? So yeah, we try to be fair with our messages. Yeah, and the metrics are the following. So you can measure unique visitors, you can measure click-through rate on the TOFU content. TOFU is the top of the funnel. Social media engagements, all the likes, comments, and the vanity stuffs. Downloads, brand mentions, PR coverage. Yeah, so let's move forward. Then you have a middle of the funnel. So this is the place where we would like to actually engage with the clients and understand what companies are interested in our materials. For instance, you can propose the value, but in return you expect some kind of information, right? So for example, email address, and we have that's the example of what we have done. We have done a Drupal support verifier. So whenever the client would like to gauge if their current support is up to date, or if their vendor is fair with the collaboration, they can actually fill out the form and check and get the results from us. Yeah, so tactics are the following. So you can make targeted email campaigns, workshops, interactive contents, such as free tools, calculators, assessments, quizzes, demos and free trials, especially for companies that are offering software as a platform. I guess asking for emails for the demos is a good strategy. Yes, and the content are drip email campaigns, video demos, white papers, research reports, also for SaaS, product comparison guides, online classes. And the metrics are the following. So you can measure engagement rates from the email campaigns, landing page engagement metrics, click-through rate on MOFU content, and conversion rates for mid-funnel offers, such as demos, trials, and classes. Okay, and the last part of the marketing funnel is bottom of the funnel. Here we would like to have conversion on potential customers into actual clients, right? And it's very important to emphasize CTA. One small hint that I can give is that you should be super specific with the CTA. So it's very beneficial if you can describe what happens if the client fills out the form, who's going to contact you, how quick, etc. Yes, and basically what we try to do is engage the pre-sales team, so the technical team and the SDM quickly in the sales processes. It's also very important for us to run a lead scoring. So we try to gauge what sort of clients are worth pursuing, what are worth just dismissing. Yeah, and the content is FAQ pages, use cases, especially highlighting client successes in the same industry. And the metrics are customer acquisition cost, numbers of SQLs. By SQL, I mean sales qualified leads. And also we try to measure how many sales qualified leads are converted into deals, right? So we have the contact and we have a deal. We try to measure it. The next tip and the thing that we have implemented is, as I said before, we try to sell small. It is very important, not only focusing on the sales and marketing strategy, but also what happens on the other side, right? So you have basically various complex sales processes, but also you have complex purchasing processes, right? And it's worth to understand what the client faces in a particular phase and where he or she actually is. So you have the first step, which is the problem. So an organization can feel the problem and they try to articulate what's going wrong. Then you have the concept phase, where they try to understand what are the possibilities of mitigating those problems. Then once you understand your concept initially, you have the education phase, where you would like to actually validate a lot of assumptions and make sure that the conception is worth pursuing. Then you have a decision phase, where you actually make a decision. For example, I would like to go with Drupal, I need this and that. And then once you have this, you have the purchase phase, where you actually send out the inquiries to different companies, and you can play for better rates or better proposals. And one of the common mistakes that sales department is doing is that we don't understand the different stages, and we don't understand the different sales deliverables. So for instance, if the client is reaching out to us in an early stage, for example, they have the issue with the concept, for instance, right? It's not a good idea to send a proposal for and the project, simply because the client is not ready with this. It leads to basically clients ghosting salespeople, and then we try to desperately, follow them up with our emails and try to push them into closing a deal. But yeah, that was also my mistake. I'll be honest, in the past. But yeah, we try not to do that anymore. So this is very important, to understand where your client is. And for example, for concept, you can propose a totally different service, and you can be actually honest with your clients and tell them that, hey, guys, you are not ready with the end project. You don't have the project specification, you don't have the designs, you don't know what you're talking about, basically. So we can help you through this phase. You can propose some small service and then try to understand if the client is willing to collaborate. That also gives another benefit of having the client who is actually collaborative, not just provisioning your project and expecting you to deliver results without basically committing, right? Because it's the work that needs to be done on both ends, the agency, the developers, and the clients. Okay, so here's the summary. Yeah, so how to enhance Drupal competitiveness in rapidly evolving market. So number one is it's not the technology itself, but how we approach the client's particular problem. Be adequate and spot on with your value proposition. Specialize in your business verticals and create solutions with your Drupal distribution if it's possible. And build long-term marketing strategy and robust processes for sales as well. And yes, so Drupal's advantages lies in the ability to be molded, to create competitive solutions aligned with your client's particular needs. And overall, it improves client satisfactions. Yeah, so like leveraging Drupal's customizability helps you to forge a solid competitive edge in your chosen market segments. This is my favorite quote. Yeah, so start with the customer experience first and then work backwards to the technology. So please try to understand your clients first. And if, for example, Drupal is not the best solutions, you can just let them know, and that's fine for them. Overall, long term, it will be better for them and for us. If the Drupal fits to the client's needs, try to be as helpful as possible, as competent as possible, as technical, specific. That obviously helps. And yes, in the last slide, I would like to thank my teammates who helped me also to realize all the things throughout the sales journey. People who helped me to serve better our clients. Obviously, our founders, 2 CTOs that we have, Marta, who is our SDM, Magda, who helped me with the design part, Andrzej, DevOps, and amazing marketers, Monica and Rafał, who put a lot of work into building a strong marketing for Droptica and bringing more deals for us, for sales team. And obviously pre-sales team members, so thank you guys. Yeah, that's it. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Yeah, this question is a little provocative. NVIDIA CEO, which is quite not stupid guy, but quite wise guy, said that in near future we don't need the languages, the programming languages at all. Like, what's this? How this challenge will be overcome by your company? If this is true, of course.
It is a provocative question indeed for this target group where we have a lot of developers. It's similar to machines, I believe, right? So machines is replacing human muscles, but you still need humans who are operating. And same thing with the technologies and AI, I guess. So you still need people who can put things together and also define the purpose of given tool, right? And but I'm not saying that AI is not beneficial. For example, in my work, it expedites things drastically, right? So I don't have to write proposal from scratch. I can check my sentences, all the mistakes that I can possibly make. So it expedites the work, but probably it's not going to replace. So that's my answer. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
No, it was not mine. It was his opinion. I just conveying his opinion. Just want to know what the developers and the companies think about it.
Yes, but it's actually a good question because by leveraging automations and emerging tools, you can be more valuable to your clients, right? So, for example, if you have the same deliverables, but you're twice faster than your competitor, right? Then you're more valuable for your clients. So we have to embrace the changes. We have to embrace all the things that's happening around us and try to adjust. We cannot simply fight with that, right? So that, yeah, like being you're flexible is the key, I guess.
Hey, thanks for the presentation. I'm not sure if I understood it correctly, but you said that you don't believe in like an outreach marketing. So are you trying to say that in Drupal you just rely on SEO and then incoming traffic, like to clients reaching to you directly, and you don't do anything?
Okay. Thank you. It's a very good question. I started my career as an SDR, right? So I did all the phone calls, cold calling, cold emailing, being pushy and aggressive with my outreach. And I have mixed feeling about it. Like if you do it wrong, right? If you don't think about your strategy, you don't know what is your target group, right? For example, you can't really call to CEO or technical director of the software company and propose them a solution. Like it's not going to happen. However, I'm not saying that the whole outbound activity is wrong, right? We should do that. And obviously, we do have a very strong marketing machine in Droptica, which is the outcome of work that's been done many years ago when a lot of people were just posting a lot of content on our website, etc. So we're fine with inbound, right? But it doesn't mean that we don't do outbound. So it doesn't mean that the outbound has to be direct, right? Or salesy. You can do the different outbound. For instance, you can call the clients or your prospects and redirect them to valuable materials, right? Instead of just trying to get them on the call, if they're not ready, why not redirecting them into our webinars, right? Or support verifier or different materials that we have prepared for them, which are actually valuable. And if they like it and they use this material and they would like to proceed with us, they will come back to us anyways. It happened many times also in Droptica. So yeah, keeping them in your network, in your LinkedIn, let's say, posting valuable contents, and planning your outbound strategy long term, mixing up it with the marketing funnel is the right way to do. So I'm not saying that the whole outbound is wrong here. But a very good question, thank you. Okay, I think we're done. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn or please catch me anywhere after this speech. happy to talk also on private if you have any questions. Thank you.